No, no, no,
Okay.
none of that. Like, go here, too.
You could just get the low angle shot, Mike.
Huh?
You could just get the low angle shot.
Oh, this is a low angle shot. You know me. You're part of that. You're part of that gang.
I have, so many times I've been shot with them before.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking it out.
Yeah.
XLR cable versus gotta walk up there.
Mic check. Are we good? Chris? Okay.
It was picking up on my screen. He's sick and he got up to his post because he had me. Good one, yes. He's like, I just. Am I? I wanted your. I was driving a big massive van, so I was trying to keep everything on the street.
Yes.
It was really scary.
I was going to work.
When Lucas County Cornwall was out there.
I think that's okay. Okay. You said the top of the hour was at 12 for, and what information topics did you have in there? So I'll have to refresh it or whatever with, okay. All right, sounds good. I appreciate that. Awesome, thanks. All right, bye.
Try to do this without knocking any of your mics over, if possible. All right. So to begin this, my name is Sergeant Bryce A. Nyhiser. For the media, it's B-R-I-C-E, Nyhiser, N-I-H-I-S-E-R. Phonetically, Boy, Robert, Ida, Charles, Edward, Nora, Ida, Henry, Ida, Sam, Edward, Robert. We're here today to brief the media, brief the public on an incident that occurred in a pursuit that involved ourselves, the Hancock County Sheriff's Office. Currently, we have 2 suspects in custody from this pursuit. Basically, the pursuit began sometime, or a vehicle was identified sometime around 2 a.m. this morning when troopers from the Marion Post observed a black Infiniti sedan traveling at a high rate of speed on State Route 23, but were unable to make contact with that vehicle. That was when a Findlay Post trooper identified the vehicle around 2:20 a.m. And then got into a pursuit in Hancock County on State Route 15. That pursuit then went from State Route 15 onto I-75 South. At approximately 2:30 a.m. on Interstate 75 near exit 142, Officer Dominic Francis of the Bluffton Police Department was attempting to deploy stop sticks when he was struck by the suspect vehicle. Officer Francis subsequently succumbed to his injuries from the crash. The 3 suspects then got out of their vehicle and then fled on foot eastbound from that vehicle. Around 3 a.m. on County Road 29, there was a Toyota Prius stolen from a residence, at which time we began searching. We were already searching for those suspects. We then began searching for that Toyota Prius. Around that time, one of the suspects was located near where the Prius was stolen. After that, a trooper at our Medina post saw the vehicle on I-70 northbound, I-71 northbound, near milepost 208. A pursuit ensued, And the vehicle and the suspect were ultimately stopped at State Route 57 and Chestnut Ridge in the city of Elyria, Chestnut Ridge Road. Right now, Interstate 75 remains closed. We're still in the process of investigating, getting everything that we need to for this investigation. We're partnering with, obviously, all agencies in the area. This is going to be a combined effort between the Highway Patrol, the Hancock County Sheriff's Office, Bluffton Police Department, as well as our other partnering agencies. There's nobody left out here. We're all looking for a third suspect. Members of the public are advised to look for a young African-American male. This time we know that he is wearing black pants and a gray sweatshirt. And if members of the public do see that individual, do see someone that matches that description in this general area, they're encouraged to call the Findlay Dispatch Center. I'll give the phone number. It's 419-423-1414. Again, 419-423-1414. That's the high level of this incident. At this time, I believe the chief would like to say a couple words.
Chief Ryan Burkholder. Today is a sad day. This community lost a hero. He is an outstanding police officer. His heart was big. Not only was he a police officer, he was a school teacher. He was a bus driver. He was a coach to the youth in this community. He had a heart of gold. He will be sorely missed. Thank you.
I'm Mayor Rich Johnson, the Village of Bluffton. Obviously, this is a very sad day for not only the residents of Bluffton, his family, but the Brotherhood of Law Enforcement. And we'd like to thank the family, let them know that the village will do everything we can to help the family out, and we send our condolences to all those involved. Thank you.
So at this time, if there are any questions pertaining to that update, I'd be happy to answer any. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why they were going to stop that vehicle? What was the reason?
So initially, right, so initially the vehicle was checked in excess of 100 miles an hour by multiple units. In some parts of the pursuit, speeds reached higher than 120, 130 miles an hour. So ultimately, the initial contact that we had was regarding speed.
Was that vehicle, did it have a Ohio plate, a Michigan plate? Were they?
So I'd have to get that information for you because I'm not sure on that.
And when you found the first suspect,
Mm-hmm.
was that suspect hiding someplace? When you said he was close to that vehicle, where was he?
Right, so the residence where the Prius was stolen from, the homeowner, gave us a description of their vehicle. We had, kind of a known make, model, color of the vehicle that we were looking for. We went to that residence, and then in that proximity, right, he was in that proximity. I would have to check on as to whether he was, how he was hiding, but he was within that area.
Do you have names of the suspects? Any information you can give us on that?
So right now, we're, obviously developing, and this, again, is an ongoing investigation. We will release the names and everything of the charged suspects once that's available.
The nurse who stopped, how's she doing?
I guess I'm not aware of that, so that would be something that, we'll have to look into.
Officer Francis?
That's correct, ma'am.
Is he married? Does he have children?
That would be something that the chief, and out of respect for him, I don't know that we're going to answer that right now.
What did he coach? Somebody mentioned he was a coach.
He was a coach in multiple sports.
And where did he teach?
He was with Corey Roston Schools.
Rawson School?
He coached softball, football, a weight trainer, helped out with the basketball program. Kind of a jack of all trades.
So what grade level or age did he teach? And do we know what subjects he taught?
He taught all the way down from elementary to high school students, all those that he impacted.
Did it appear the suspects swerved and tried to strike the officer, or?
So, again, this is an ongoing investigation. We're going to be taking, we have every available resource out there to investigate this. That's something that's actively being investigated.
Can you give any color on how the suspects were apprehended?
As far as, at this point, an officer has been killed. There's certain procedures that we go through in any kind of arrest like that. To my knowledge, the arrests were a typical arrest out of a felony incident.
Did you say they were arrested in Northeast Ohio?
Right, one of them was arrested, again, State Route 57 and Chestnut Ridge Road, and that's in the city of Elyria.
And where was the second one arrested?
Second one was arrested just off County Road 29, where the Prius was stolen
And
in
so-
that area.
Got it.
And that area is down near Bluffton, or is that northeast?
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
That second suspect that you were able to arrest in that car,
Mhm.
right, did he pull over for you, or did you have to stop the car? How did you arrest him?
I'll have to check on that. I don't have the exact details. I know that it was a felony stop, obviously, but as far as how the vehicle was stopped, whether it was immobilized, what exactly went into that, I'll have to check on that.
Is the third suspect considered dangerous?
So at this time, obviously, an officer is dead. 3 individuals in a vehicle killed him. And as far as armed, I guess that would be we'll have to look into that. We're going to be, obviously investigating this, but dangerous is most definitely a good word to describe him.
Do you already know who was behind the wheel, maybe, of the vehicle?
At this time, I don't have that information.
And again, the third suspect still out there, you think, down in the Bluffton area, or?
So just again, without compromising too much of what we have going on right now as far as resources, where we're looking, that kind of thing, and compromising that search, we're actively searching where we believe he could have gone because, there's only one suspect in that Prius that we got up north, and we arrested one other one at the house where the Prius was stolen. So we're trying to make sure that we're canvassing as much as we can, but also understanding that if he's on foot, he can only make it a certain distance from where that Prius was stolen.
Do you have a name and a picture?
So at this time, we have nothing confirmed as far as a name and a picture. That would be something that we'd have to put out later.
This is a community where it's very tight-knit,
Mhm.
and we've seen a lot of roads closed. We've seen, community members being told to shelter in their homes, a lot of uncertainty. What's kind of your message for these people, especially someone who may have had their car stolen, and people who are just trying to figure out what's going on? People couldn't go into work, for a
Right.
shift, and different places canceled.
Right. So obviously, right, this is definitely a concerning situation for the community. Obviously, what they need to understand is the Highway Patrol, all of our partnering agencies are out there looking for this third suspect. And again, if they see someone matching that description, young, African-American male, black pants, light gray sweatshirt, in this area, maybe, again, concerning where the initial theft occurred of the Prius, if something looks out of place, call our Findlay Dispatch Center at that number that I provided.
Do you have an approximate height and weight on the last suspect?
I know that he's a thin build. I would have to check on the height.
Do you know when the last time there was a Bluffton officer killed in the line of duty?
I do not have that. I would let Chief.
I can give you an approximate date. We had 2 line of duty deaths, and it was about in the 1920s.
Any other questions?
Sorry to reiterate this, but the vehicle that struck the officer, then that vehicle, was that locally, or did that vehicle drive all the way to Elyria?
No, so the initial vehicle was a dark-colored Infiniti. That's the vehicle that Officer Francis was struck by. That vehicle was then left. Those three suspects went, and then that's when that Prius was stolen.
When you say it was left, I mean, after they hit him, did it spin, or what did it do?
They continued to drive.
And then
And then they pulled, I would have to get the specifics of where they pulled off the road, but they pulled off the road and then all three exited the vehicle.
And that was down in that area?
Yeah, out here on 75.
Too far before they got the Prius? Oh.
One thing I would add is just that we are utilizing every resource available to us right now. We're using our aviation section. We're using crash specialists. We're utilizing resources from the Sheriff's Office, Bluffton, surrounding counties. There's nobody that isn't helping out right now to hopefully bring some justice to this situation.
You got this call, and you're obviously very affected by this, as many people in this community. What's going through your mind as you're trying to process this situation?
So I think it's something that is going through everyone's mind, you know. We're all in this profession for a reason. You know, you want to go out, make a difference. And it's hard when something like this happens for everyone.
Hey, Chief, do you remember the last time you talked to Francis? I mean, because I know you guys have a small department, right? Do you remember the last time that you had a conversation with him and what you guys talked about?
2 nights ago on shift change,
Yeah.
I come in with everybody, and he's always ready to go and do the best he can for his community that he serves, and he will be missed.
Do you have 14 officers in your department?
Yes, that's correct. We have 9 full-time and 5 part-time.
How old was Officer Francis?
41.
He was recently featured in the paper at some point, talking about how much he loved his job.
Yes. Yes.
Why did he love it so much?
Because he was out there, he knew he could make a difference. He always put others before himself.
Do you know how long he's been in your department?
9 years. 6 of them, I believe, are full-time and 3 are part-time. He's got 19 years of law enforcement experience.
If there are no additional questions, obviously, yeah, there's some things that we can provide greater clarity on. There will be a media release coming, just so everyone knows. I'll try to make sure that I get everyone involved on that. Sergeant Ryan Purpura, who is the typical Northwest Ohio PIO, should have all of your contact information. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get everyone's email address here, just to make sure I get all the media release to all of you. That media release should be coming relatively shortly, and then if we have any updates after that, we'll be sure to provide them.
Are you releasing a photo of the officer?
That would be up to Bluffton Police Department.
Will you release a photo?
Yeah, eventually, when it's really numb right now.
Yes.
I need some time to
I understand.
speak with the wife and.
Okay.
If there are no additional questions, like I said, I'll come around and try to get everybody's email.